Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with November How to Kill a Kit with Style layout share. So I only made 9 layouts this month. It's been a busy month with just life in general. So I'm glad I got through what I did of my collection. If you guys remember, I kind of had a partial kit from Felicity Jane and I was drawing on my stash and leftover previous How to Kill a Kit with Style Felicity Jane kits to complete what I wanted to use this month. And I'm really pleased with what I made. I think there's a wide variety here, even though I used the Julia collection as my base because I got to pull from different things from my stash. It really helped every layout kind of look like different from one another, which I think is really fun. These first two are kind of companion pages, so they're probably the ones that look the most similar. I did pull this wood grain in from my stash, but I went ahead and I cut into a solid, I cut into a floral, which usually I don't do with Felicity Jane. You guys know I'm really frugal and I try not to cut into a bunch of papers right from the start. I kind of dove in on this one. I got to pull in some scraps from the Aspen collection. I got to pull in a lot of different Felicity Jane alphas this month. So this is one of them that I used a couple times, as well as this little puffy alphabet, which I love. But this is kind of documenting some more of our little mini honeymoon we did. So I thought that was really fun. And I kind of liked this I don't know, I don't pull in kind of these more rustic wood grains with Felicity Jane a lot, but I really like how clean and crisp the Felicity Jane looks with the wood grain. So that was kind of a fun mix. But these are the first two, pretty simple. This one was for scrap 5, and I think this one turned out so crazy from the rest of the ones just because I went with this purple and yellow color scheme. I pulled in this stencil and this cardstock from my stash and really focused on the yellow from the Julia collection, but got to pull in a lot of purple elements from the Reese collection that I didn't get to use up when I was using it. So happy I got as much of that used up as I did. Got a branding strip used up, 2 Felicity Jane alphas, some different scraps and bits from Ronnie. This is from the Heidi collection, this little yellow tassel. So I think this one was really fun. This one, again, I pulled from a lot of different Felicity Jane kits to kind of create this. So the all the different layers and different elements are all from different Felicity Jane kits, but because they're in the same kind of color family, I think it went really well. This was, I think, the last layout for like my little mini honeymoons. That's officially done. Now I just need to finish the actual wedding pictures. I thought this was really fun because it was documenting the fire pit we did every night, and I really like how that kind of tied into the colors of the fire plus the stars because it was at nighttime. I just thought it was really sweet. This is probably the layout that looks the most like the Julia collection, the base collection I was using. I got a lot of the multicolored elements used up, the Julia girl, the rainbow, this little create. So I was really trying to pull in a lot of the multicolored elements, but kind of balance it with the more simplistic black and white things that there were. So I got to use this really cool like typewriter background. I dove into, I think this is the Aspen Puffy Alpha, which is like one of my favorites from Felicity Jane. Some more puffy stickers from the Millie collection, a couple die cuts, a couple pocket cards, the branding strips. So I like how this one turned out. I also really like the doodling around the edge. I think really ties it together. And then just kind of the subtle journaling along the bottom. So I like this one too. This one was for Off the Board with Pineapple Papers. This one I really tried to keep more simple, but I tried a lot of new things on this layout. So I was really like pleased with how the stitching using the stencil came out, how doing a landscape 8.5 by 11 turned out, because I've never done a landscape before, and that was really fun. Again, using multiple alphas, multiple pocket cards, another branding strip to kind of create this one. And then you can see the piece I gutted from behind this 8.5 by 11 made it onto the next layout as my main layer. So I really need to finish Avery's baby album. Those will probably be the first several layouts you see next month because I've got to finish his baby album before Christmas. So I was really happy to get at least one of them done this month. So I really like, again, the blue and pink color scheme I think is really sweet. I'm really glad I got to use the little girl, and just trying to pull from whatever I had that was blue and pink from my kind of kit. I pulled in on here, and then I just added some extra detail with the notebook edge punch, which I always love. And again, Nuvo drops. I'm trying to remember my Nuvo drops because when I first bought them, I used them on every layout, and then since then they've kind of been forgotten about. So I was happy to pull in the aqua ones on this page because I think it was kind of the perfect finishing touch. But there's this one. This was what I thought was going to be the final layout, so I really just had a ton of scraps to use. So I really just started to pile them on in fun layers, and then do kind of black and white minimal embellishment. The ephemera I had left over at this point didn't go with this color scheme, so I kind of mentioned during the process video I had to pick between getting all the paper used up or getting all of the ephemera used up because they didn't really go together. So I chose all the paper layers and made this, and then I was able to squeeze in one more layout which went live today. If you haven't seen it, this one is for Off the Board with Pineapple Papers, where I kind of went through my stash. The ephemera I had left over were kind of the teal and peachy tones, and so I went through my stash and got some papers that were in the same kind of color scheme and created this one. I got, I think, 3 different pocket cards used up on here, the rest of the paper scraps, and a lot of the ephemera. So I was really pleased with this one as well. So that's all the layouts I made this month. As far as what's left over, I used all of the paper. I used, let's see, I have 2 pocket cards left over, which I don't think is bad considering how much I had left over by the time I got to the last 2 pages. I did use most of the ephemera. I do have this little beautiful tab. I have the 3 flowers and the 2 little hearts left over. And then this is part of this die cut, but I just it didn't make sense in this context. The creating is my happy place, so I just saved the creating for hopefully another layout. But I used my happy place on this layout. So that's what's left over from the die cuts. And the thing I was the most worried about were the circular chipboard ephemera, but I actually think I did pretty good. I think I saved myself the last couple layouts. So I only have 4 left, which I think is pretty good. So this is all that's left from the Julia collection. And I was really happy with how much I was able to pull in from my other Felicity Jane kits this month. So you saw them make appearances throughout the layouts. But as far as what I was trying to get through with the Julia collection, this is all that's left, which I'm really happy about. So make sure you check out everyone else playing along with How to Kill a Kit with Style today and see what they made. I think we are taking a break in December, at least I am, but I think everyone's taking a break in December. And then we'll be back in January. We have kind of a fun plan for How to Kill a Kit with Style next year, but I don't really want to say more than that because I don't know if I'm supposed to. So I'm going to kind of wait till one of the other girls mention it. But we'll be back in January, hopefully, as long as I can get an appropriate kit in time. I'll be back in January. But yeah, other than that, I'm definitely still making layouts next month. They just won't be for How to Kill a Kit with Style. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next process video. Bye.